Hey guys, it's Snailbiter, and I've got another World of Tanks video here. Recently I've been grinding a lot with the Leopard prototype, which is the Tier 9 German medium tank. It's part of the new German medium line that was released in 8.5, I believe. And I had recently unlocked it actually just before the recent on-track event that went live, so that coincided nicely with the fact that I was wanting to buy the Leopard prototype anyway. And so I've been grinding a lot of it the last week or so. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to unlock the Leopard 1 before the on-track event ends so I can buy it at a discount price, which would be really nice. But anyway, I've got a couple of games that I've had that were pretty good with the Leopard prototype that I wanted to post. And so I'm probably going to post them one after the other, so you'll probably see the second one on my channel soon after this one gets posted. But they're both pretty high damage rounds, and so I thought you guys might enjoy watching them. The first of them here is on Redshire, which is a notoriously campy map. It's typically pretty slow paced, and it's a really good map for sniping tanks, which is what this tank really excels at. It's a great sniper. It's got an amazing gun. It's really an awesome gun. There's not much more you can say about it. It's got 268 pen, which is insane for a tier 9 medium tank. I'm pretty sure, off the top of my head, I think that's the highest out of any of the medium tanks get. And 390 damage, so it's in line with the Patton's gun and the E50's gun. So it's a good damage, good penetration gun. The reload's a bit slow. I want to say it's around 12 seconds or so. I don't have any equipment on this tank, although vents and gun armor would probably increase the reload rate a little bit. Although to be honest, I think if I were to put equipment on this tank, I would probably want to put binocs and camo net on, because of this tank's ability as a sniper. I think that's really the best way to play it. It has absolutely no armor, so there's really no point in trying to engage enemies really close up. And trading, I wouldn't really recommend just like doing peekaboo stuff with this tank unless you know that you're not going to get shot when you do peek. So you have to be fairly cautious, and you have to hang back a lot, which is, I think, part of the reason why I found it's a little bit hard to get high experience games with this, because I'm able to do a fair amount of damage per round, but since typically I'm playing more at a distance, I don't get as much experience for that. I think you, generally speaking, get more experience really the closer you are to the enemies you're shooting at. And you know, if you're doing spotting damage, or if you're just spotting for yourself, you're going to get more experience than if somebody else is spotting for you. So basically I'm just going to take advantage of this tank's ability to snipe for most of this round. This area here in the G5 is, I think, probably the most powerful position on this map, particularly if you spawn on the southeast side. It's really great for any tank that has any sort of gun depression, and I mean, I'd say even if you don't have gun depression, you can still make it work. With heavy tanks, it might be a little harder to do just because you're bigger and don't have as much camo. But I'd say with any medium and with any TD that has, you know, decent traverse speed, this would be a really powerful position. If you just knock down all these trees, and you know, especially if you have a camo net or something, you can just camo up and it'll be really hard for you to get spotted. Especially in a matchup like this where there's no artillery, this position can be really effective, even if you do occasionally get spotted. Although I think for most of this round I'm able to stay hidden just in these bushes. I got spotted there once by, I think it was an IS-3 on the hill there, but besides that I'm able to just hang back here and take pot shots really at the guys that are getting spotted over there by my teammates down in the K2 area. The one downside I'd say to this gun is probably it has a bit of a long aim time, so you have to be a little patient with your shots, and you definitely see me take a little extra time to both aim and make sure that I have a good shot before I actually take it. Because of the long reload time as well, you want to be able to take advantage of the shots that you take, and you don't want to miss an opportunity to take a shot because you fired an iffy one. Although at times, you know, it is beneficial to do something like that. The other thing I find slightly frustrating about this tank is that its gun depression isn't the greatest, and especially after playing the Indian Panzer, which actually has pretty good gun depression for a German tank. I find it a little frustrating sometimes when I'm trying to maneuver along the terrain and get a good angle on an enemy without exposing too much of my tank. It can definitely be a little frustrating when the gun depression just isn't quite there for me to pull off some shots. So actually what I've heard is the Leopard 1 has much better gun depression than this, so I think if everything else stays the same but the gun depression is better, I could already see the Leopard 1 being a significantly better tank. Because of the fact that this really has no armor, you have to be careful about how much of your tank you expose when you're taking shots, and so the lack of gun depression sort of limits your ability to engage the enemy in certain situations. Now at this point in the round I've almost done 4,000 damage already, and I actually felt for most of the round, or at least for the first part of this round, that it was going to be a pretty easy win. We held a pretty good tank advantage for much of the round, and you can see the North has started to push close to their base, and I'm starting to turn my attention a little bit to some of the tanks over there, since we've managed to clean up a little bit in the South, and most of the tanks down there are dead. Although now we're only up by 2 tanks now at this point, so I'm getting a little worried, and I'm hoping that we don't get wiped out in the North, because that would not be good if the enemy was able to start to push from that side. I've been able for most of this round to just kind of ignore everything to the north and only focus on the south, but it would be a little bit more difficult if I had to worry about both fronts. So there you saw me get a nice shot into that IS-8 from a pretty good distance. He was just at the edge of my view range, I think, and I was able to put a good shot into him. There the Leopard PTA cam was up right as I take a shot at him, but I'm pretty sure that shot goes in, as you'll see him later. He's at low health. And now I'm just going back and forth trying to take shots at whoever's lit up at the moment. I've moved up a little bit on this hill, and my sixth sense hasn't gone off, so I know I'm not spotted. And that just speaks really to the camo of this tank, which is why in there I get spotted, so I immediately back up after I shoot that Leopard PTA. But I mean, I think that really just speaks to this tank's ability as a sniper, and if you put a camo net on it, or I think the camo skill actually would be really good for a Leopard PTA crew, because if you could get this thing in a situation where it can just take shots without getting spotted, it could be really, really dangerous. So there the Leopard PTA that was in the south just got killed. And since it didn't look like the friendly tanks that were in the south were getting shot at by that Jagdtiger that was in the E3 or F3 area, I figured he probably backed up and that it would be safe for me to move up and try to just respot him. And sure enough, there he is. I catch him as he's trying to back up. And there you can see the lack of gun depression really doesn't allow me to peek over and get a shot on him before he's able to turn and face me. So I just back off and continue forward to try to spot the remaining 2 tanks. I figure the Tiger 2 is still somewhere along this ridge, so I'm going to poke up over here near where he was last spotted on the mini-map. And sure enough, there he is. I'm able to get actually a nice snapshot there. I took that one quickly, and my reticle wasn't nearly fully zoomed in, but it goes through, so that was a good shot. And I'm just going to keep peeking along this ridge and try to spot for my teammates so we can finish them off. There's the other Jagdtiger again, and here again I'm trying to peek over and get a good shot on him, but unfortunately the gun depression doesn't allow me to, so I back off again. And there's the other Jagdtiger spotted in the back of the map, just kind of sitting in the back of their base. So now I can see this Jagdtiger is coming towards me, and I'm trying to set up in a position where I can catch him as he crests this hill in the lower plate, but I mean, again, there's another example of the gun depression just not quite being there. I couldn't really depress my gun low enough, and I'm not able to hit him in the lower plate, and I instead bounce on his slightly angled upper plate. I was trying to track him there, but I couldn't quite hit him in the track. I do get some damage, though, and he misses his shot in the rock, so I know I'm able to just flank around here and get the kill shot. And now it's just a matter of finishing these guys off as the round is just about finished. The M103 on our team was getting frustrated at the Tier 8 platoon that had been camping on the hill near our base for most of the round, so he ends up team killing one of them there. I get the kill shot on the Tiger 2, and just going to put one more shot on this Jagdtiger to finish off the round. So you can see on XVM I did about 6,500 damage. I did get a couple blind shots I think in there as well, so I ended up getting close to 7,000 damage in this round, which is I think pretty good for a tier 9 medium. Yeah, so there you can see just under 7,000 damage with about 1,200 spotting damage. And I get Sniper and Confederate to go along with just under 1,200 XP and a 7k damage. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.